It's time to have a conversation about Deebo Samuel. I know everyone is disappointed with his performance this last week. Everyone's disappointed with his performance this season. It just has not been a good year for Deebo, in a year where they lose Brandon Ayuk and really needed him to step up and provide a spark for the 49ers offense. But unfortunately, he just hasn't done that. And he hasn't been a guy that the 49ers can really count on this season. He doesn't look the same. He's not playing the same.
Thing is with Deebo, he has to understand. It's funny how the football gods will humble you. Now he's complaining and he put up a tweet and then he took the tweet down. And now here it is for all the world to see. This is your opportunity. Now look what you did. I mean, if it wasn't raining, we just saw you wet the bed. But your clothes wet, so we don't really know. But you did. You did all that talking. Oh, I want the ball. Ain't nothing wrong with Deebo. Bro, you're not the same. I mean, even they showed the cut-ups. Bro, you had no separation. Even on the balls that he didn't get, guys, did y'all see any separation? How was Purdy going to drop the ball in there? There was no separation. It's just so I just don't get these guys. These guys start reading the comments and, oh, Deebo, you should do this and you should go somewhere else. And you start getting high on your own supply and you start feeling yourself. And then when you get an opportunity, the 49ers put you in a situation where you can make plays, you come up small. Now, I want you to go on there and say, hey, just like you had the nerve to go out there and tweet and say, ain't nothing wrong with Deebo, I want you to say, hey, guys, I let the team down tonight. I had an opportunity to make a play and I didn't. Had a false start. So, hey, that's what you have to do.
You know, the point of this video isn't to just come on here and just, rip apart Deebo Samuel. That's never anything that I want to do. But I do want to talk about what's happening and what's going on from this game that the 49ers just lost. So let's talk about it. Obviously, this week, Deebo Samuel put a lot of eyes on himself with his tweet. And as you guys know, and I've made videos about, I wasn't at all supportive of his tweet. I wasn't supportive of how he handled the media after either. I thought it was a terrible sequence of events after the 49ers had just actually gotten some positive momentum, arguably the best offensive performance they have had all season. And Deebo Samuel takes to Twitter to say that he's not getting the ball and he's not struggling, which is an objective. They're both false. He got community noted. He had to tuck his tail and delete the tweet. And so it was just a terrible circumstance. Like, I'm never going to like come at a player like Deebo and be like, "Hey, man, you're struggling. You like that's just never. I understand football is a challenging sport and it has ebbs and flows and peaks and valleys. And with Deebo, he's in a valley right now. The 2024 season for Deebo Samuel is a valley, and it is what it is. And you just want to see players like that keep working and keep just one of these games it's going to happen. It's going to click. It's going to pop. And then boom, who knows? Deebo Samuel becomes the hero and wins us a game and keeps us alive for the playoffs. And this game against the Rams could have been that. But the problem is he tweeted and he put all this pressure on himself. And he did. And that's how he played. He played like he was pressing. He played like he was unfocused. He played like it just wasn't clicking. And I think when you understand you're playing on prime time, you're playing in front of the entire world, you want to come out and you want to have a performance. But because you want to help your team win, not because you tweeted something and now you have to back it up and you have to like, make it look like you weren't a distraction this week. And I think that's the hardest part about the performance, in my opinion, is he brought it upon himself. He brought the negativity on himself. I was feeling bad for Deebo up until that tweet. just with how people have really kind of come after him this year, and just said a lot of terrible things to him. And I don't think it's all warranted. I don't think it's been his best year, but I don't think the terrible things were warranted. And unfortunately, you tweet that and you bring a firestorm of just negativity onto yourself, but onto your team. When you tweet something like that and it is going to immediately be correlated to your quarterback and your head coach, and they both have to speak on it, and Kittle has to speak on it, and John Lynch has to answer for it. That's not what captains do. That's not what leaders do. That's what selfish players do. And so I wasn't happy with Deebo this week at all. Um, I was pretty upset by it. And for all the things that I've mentioned, I will say this though. After watching his post game press conference after this game, I respect for how the way he handled it. I respect him taking ownership of it. I respect him standing in front of the media and doing his best to be open. You could tell he wasn't being closed off Debo, which he tends to do to the media. So I appreciate that. I felt like that. I was like, okay, I can respect that for sure. I can respect how he handled that moment and that situation and all of that. But it's just an unfortunate situation, man. Sitting in the stadium, literally the whole stadium was groaning anytime Deebo Samuel got the ball. People all over the place just yelling, "Why is Deebo getting the ball? Stop giving Deebo the ball." Like, but that's what happens when you tweet that and then you don't produce and then you don't execute and you drop potentially game-winning touchdown passes, and then that spirals out of control. And then now, you put your quarterback in a position to like press and try to play well when he hasn't been playing well, then he throws an interception and it's just a compounding issue. Now everyone's at Brock, but like would they be at Brock if we threw a touchdown pass to Deebo Samuel and Deebo Samuel scores and we take the lead and then Brock's able to maintain the lead and isn't pressing to try to get a come from behind win. Like it just a compounding situation. All of it's compounding. The bad year that he's had, the tweet that he made, to then how he responded to the tweet, and then how he came out and performed. It just compounded, and it's just an unfortunate situation because um, I've been a believer in Deebo. He was a draft crush of mine. He was a guy that, I've always had his back. Um, and even amidst all the drama with the contract negotiation stuff, he was a guy I still wanted around. Um, and this whole season has just been an unfortunate one, and specifically for Debo. Now, what does that mean for Debo in the future? I don't know. Matt Mayoko came out last week and said he felt very strongly that Deebo Samuel was going to be back next year, and then apparently he went on his podcast recently and said the opposite. So I've been of the belief that this was probably going to be Deebo Samuel's last year with the 49ers. So I don't know what that looks like moving forward. But at the end of the day, it's not been a good year for Deebo, and then it all kind of just came crashing to a head this week by tweeting and then not addressing it to the media, and then coming out and putting up an absolute dud in a game that you had to win, and they needed you, and it didn't happen. I still want Deebo to be successful. I still want Deebo to, be a guy that we can rely on. And, um, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for him, if he comes back or not. But just an unfortunate set of circumstances. And it was disappointing. It was disappointing, all of it. Um, for a captain to handle himself that way, a guy that I respect, and I've had respect for, and it just kind of diminished some of that. And that's an unfortunate situation, right? Like, so I don't know what you guys feel about. I feel like I need to get my thoughts out there because it's been such a heavy talking point. So, I talk about the Niners, so I got to talk about Deebo. So, you guys let me know what your thoughts are on Deebo, what you think the future holds, and all of that good stuff. So, let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.